Satya Dharma Reflection on July 4th, 2022. Walking in the way with disregarding is not sufficient. It has to be beyond disregarding. Beyond disregarding, to be limited with just disregarding, this is being stuck with a realm of existence. Disregard from the disregard itself. Disregard in the way that is not about anything within itself, without grasping it, beyond disregarding, otherwise it will be maintained within stillness and indifference. It looks good. Unwind from the disregarding furthermore. No grasping for the disregarding. To emphasize on disregarding, it is dropping, not disregarding truly. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, it doesn't grasp itself. Where with it, child? To emphasize only just disregarding is not true disregarding, it's dropping. It's not an extinction, it's dropping in itself. Disregard, even from the disregard itself. Nothing is within the disregard itself, child. Nothing is within the disregard itself. The disregard has nothing within itself. In this way, it will release from the disregarding. It will be beyond itself. Don't be limited with just disregarding. Give no significance to the disregard itself. Just a tiny bit, then you falling into disregarding. Release from it further. Nothing is within the disregarding. That means that the disregard doesn't grasp itself. The disregard and the stillness are very much alike. It looks alike, so give no significance to the disregards. In this way, it will release from itself. Release furthermore from the disregard. No is not know itself. No is not know itself. Release furthermore from the disregard. Don't create stillness and indifference from the disregard. The disregard is not itself. Let's not be stuck with just mindfulness or equanimity or samadhi. Disregard from the disregard itself. Don't be limited with just disregarding. This is not an extension. It's just resting in the indifference. Disregard from the disregard itself. Give no significance to the disregard itself, child. Disregard from the disregard itself, child. No grasping for the disregard itself. Let's not be limited with just that. Disregarding means no limits. It has no limitation, child. It is boundless. Mai or disregarding is not about anything. It's not even itself. Mai is not about anything. The disregard is not about anything. It's not even itself. Well with it. The disregard is not even itself, child. The disregard or Mai is not even itself. The non-attachment is not about anything. It's not even itself. Let's not be limited with just disregard or not attached or falling into stillness or indifference. Is the realms of the mind, realms of Dharma, is karma actually. That is the karma that overlays realm of existence. So it will open up completely. Give no significance to the disregard itself, to Mai itself. Mai is not about anything within itself. It doesn't signify anything. With this, it will unwind from the unwind itself completely. Just like flowers that blossom, the lotus that blossom and falling off from itself. It doesn't grasp itself. Every lotus blossom out and discard the blossoming state. It's not just budding or blossoming, child. Blossoming discards from itself. The disregard is not stuck with itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Nothing is within the disregard itself. It's not about anything. Mai is not about anything. Mai is not even Mai itself. Non-attachment is not about anything, even itself. Mai is not about Mai, child. The disregard is not about anything within itself. This is not about blossoming. Discard the blossoming. No, it's not even know itself. No is not even no itself. This is not about, just about. This is not it. No is not even no itself. This is not just about blossom out of something, blossom out of itself, discards itself. This is not just about, this isn't it. No is not even no itself. Blossom out of itself. The unwinding doesn't grasp itself, child. The brightness doesn't grasp itself. No grasping even for the non-grasping itself. This is in everything. Let's purify well. Purify even the purifier itself. Conclude through self-purification. Purify even the purifier itself. Nong Po said that samsara is so lonely and withering, always giving significance and meanings and involvements. So Luang Po have to say something. There is striving also in trying to conclude, trying to make a conclusion. This is not just about, this isn't it. No is not even no itself. Even it isn't it is not about anything. Doesn't signify anything.
เวลาที่หลวงพ่อเดินคนเดียวเนี่ยมันสบาย
Luang Po said that when Luang Po walk alone, it's so
การเดินคนเดียวของท่านเนี่ยไม่ได้
comfortable.
คนเดียว
But Luang Po doesn't walk alone
อะไรมัน
anyway.
แวดล้อมไปหมด
So many things that is surrounding him.
ใจไหมใครมาตั้งซ้อนท่านไง
No one
มีใครมาคอยตั้งคอย
put
ตั้
the
ง
mind of
เพ่งไปเล็ง
determination
อะไร
and projection overlays on top of Luang Po. That is the clashes.
ตั้งใส่อะไรไม่ได้ลูก
We cannot
สิ่งที่ไม่เกี่ยวกับ
set
ตั้ง
up
ไม่ตั้ง
anything on top
ไม่
of
เกี่ยวกับตั้ง
anything
ไม่ตั้งไม่เกี่ยว
that
กับ
which
ตั้ง
has
ไม่ตั้ง
nothing to
ไม่เกี่
do
ยวกับ
with
ตั้งไม่ตั้ง
determination, obligation.
ประโยคไหนก็ต้อง
or
พูด
not
หมดแหละเนาะ
Any sentence is to cut the
ไม่เกี่ยว
knowing.
กับตั้งไม่ตั้งไม่เกี่ยวกับตั้งไม่ตั้งแล้วเป็นยังไงก็สลายหมดแหละสลายตัวบุรุชนให้หมดแหละ
Uninvolved with expectation or not expectation. Otherwise, there will be only clashes. The overlaying of the determination and projection of the mind, the overlaying the seeing and knowing, is all about clashes. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself.
สลายหายไปหมดแหละมึง
It will dissolve everything regarding all the mind. This is not about recitation. It's just dissolving,
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเอง
uninvolved within the uninvolved itself.
สลายไงมันไม่
It's
ใช่
about
คำบริกรรมแล้ว
dissolving.
กรรมเข้ากรรม
This
เข้า
is not
มันไม่พอ
recitation
อย่าให้ไป
and
ตกเป็นจิต
creating
เอกสภาวะ
karma
เป็นสมาธิ
or
แน่วแน่มันไม่เป็นแบบนั้น
crystallizing
คลายทิ้ง
until
คลาย
it becomes
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเองไม่
single-mindedness
เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเองนี่มันคลายทิ้งคลายคลายทิ้งคลายคลายทิ้งคลาย
from
ไม่ใช่รวม
itself,
เข้ารวมเข้ารวมเข้ามันไม่เหมือนกับบริกรรมอย่างอื่น
uninvolved within the
บริกรรม
uninvolved
อย่างอื่นที่
itself.
มันไม่
This
ล้าง
is
ตัวบ
not
ริ
the
กรรมเองมันจะรวม
composing
เข้ารวมเข้า
of
รว
the
มเข้ารวม
mind.
เข้า
It's not
เป็
the
นเอก
same thing
สภาวะ
because that is the
เป็นสมาธิจิต
composure of
ห
the
นึ่งอะไรอย่าง
mind
นั้น
which
น่ะ
becoming
โยกคลายมันออก
single-mindedness.
จิต
This is called the delusive attachment that is
ไอ้อย่างเนี้ยมันไม่
fixated
ใช่บริกรร
to
ม
the
มันบริ
mind.
คาย
This is unwind out,
ไม่
not
เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเอง
recitation.
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่
Uninvolved
เกี่ยว
within
เอ
the
งมันบ
uninvolved
ริ
itself,
คาย
uninvolved within the uninvolved
ไม่ใช่
itself
บริกรรม
is unwinding, not recitation.
คาย
It's an unwinding instead of recitation
ดูดีๆนะบริคาย
of karma.
บริกรรมฮะแต่บริกรรมก็เดี๋ยวจะเอาไปปลูกเสกดินน้ำลมไฟไงเป็นธาตุกาย
If you do recitation,
แล้ว
you
มันก็
could
ไปอยู่ในธาตุ
do
นั้น
consecration to the elements of earth, air, water, and fire. That
บ
become
ริกรรมอะไร
karma,
ก็ไปอยู่กับสิ่งนั้น
and you will be stuck in whatever you recite with. This is about unwinding, not
ไม่
creating
เกี่ยวกับตั้งไม่
karma
ตั้ง
from
รูปไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่
recitation.
เกี่ยวเองไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเองไม่เกี่ยวแม้กระทั่งไม่เกี่ยวเอง
This has
ไม่เกี่ยว
nothing
แม้ก
to
ระทั่ง
do
ไม่เกี่ยว
with
เองนั่นแหละ
setting up
ระลึกล้าง
anything
ตัว
or
ระลึ
not
กเอง
setting up
นึกล้างตัวนึก
anything.
เองรู้สติล้างรู้
Uninvolved
สติ
within the
เอง
uninvolved itself, the reminder that purifies itself.
รู้จักไหมบริคาย หรือว่ารู้จักแต่บริกรรม หรือรู้จักแต่บริขาร
You know
รู้
only
จักแต่บริวาร
recitation
หรือแค่บริเวณ
or just places, areas, or followers. หลวงพ่อ play with the word บริกรรม บริวาร บริเวณ
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเอง
Uninvolved
ไม่เกี่ยวตัว
within
ไม่
the
เกี่ยวเอง
uninvolved
อ่ะ
itself
มันทีๆก็ได้
more
คลาย
often,
คลายคลาย
more
คลาย
frequently,
คลายทิ้งคลาย
unwinding these
เรื่อย
cards
ๆ
from
คลายทิ้ง
itself
คลายเรื่อยๆลูก
constantly,
มันเยอะไง
constantly,
รอบ
because
แห่งอุทานที่ลูกตอบย้ำ
the
สั่งสอนมามัน
cycle
เยอะ
of
ซ้อนห้าซ้อน
the
ขันเนี่ย
emphasizing
กรรมตอนไหนลูก
of
ยัง
the
ไม่รู้เลย
delusive
พอ
of
รู้อีกก็กรรมอีก
the delusive
กรรมตัวรู้อีก
attachment that overlay on
พอ
top
ไป
of
รู้
the
มัน
body
ก็
and
กรรม
mind
อีก
is
กร
a
รมตัว
lot.
กรรมตัวไหนกรรม
Whenever
ตัว
you
รู้
use
แหละ
knowing, there is karma again and again. Karma overlaying the knowing.
ไม่แม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอง
Disregard
ไม่แม้กระทั่งตัว
even
ไม่
from the
เอง
disregard
ไม่แม้กระ
itself.
ทั่งไม่
Disregard
เอง
even from the disregard itself.
มันจะเอาได้ยังไงล่ะ
How can there be any
จะเอาได้ยัง
grasping
ไง
here?
นะมันก็จะไม่ใช่การเอา
It
ไป
will
เอง
not
ไม่ขัด
become
แย้งกับอนิจจังทุกขังอนัต
grasping
ตา
mind all by itself, not going against anicca
จะ
dukkha
ไม่
and
ขัดแย้งกับสั
anatta.
จธรรม
It will not going against the
สัจ
Satya
ธรรม
Dharma,
มัน
the
อะไร
noble
เล่า
truth,
ก็มันคือทั้งหมดของความไม่ยึดติดอยู่แล้ว
which
ใน
is
สภาพ
all
ของ
about
ต
the
นเอง
non-attachment in its
มัน
nature.
คือทั้งหมดแห่งความไม่ยึดติดอยู่แล้วในสภาพของ
It's
มัน
all
เอ
about the
ง
non-attachment
ใน
in
ส
its
ภาพของเขา
nature.
เองมันคือไม่ยึดติดอยู่แล้วในสภาวะของเขาเอง
Non-attachment as it is
ของมัน
in
เอ
its
ง
nature.
มันจะไม่ขัดแย้งต่อสัจธรรม
This will not be against the Satya Dharma, the true nature of all things.
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเอง
Uninvolved
ไม่เกี่ยวแม้กระทั่งไม่เกี่ยว
within the
เอง
uninvolved
ไม่เกี่ยว
itself,
แม้กระทั่งไม่เกี่ยว
uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself.
นั่นแหละตรัสรู้ช่วยล่ะ
That is cutting the knowing
บริขาร
as
ไม่ใช่บ
helping.
ริกรรม
This is unwinding,
คลาย
not reciting,
ผ่อนคลาย
releasing, unwinding.
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่เกี่ยวเอง
Uninvolved
ไม่เกี่ยวตัวไม่
within
เกี่
the
ยวเอง
uninvolved itself,
ไม่เกี่ยวแม้กระทั่งไม่เกี่ยว
uninvolved
เอง
even within the uninvolved itself.
อะไรทิ้งนิสัยเลย
This will discard the habits. What kind of habits? Habits of involvement.
ข้องเกี่ยวกับนิสัยอุปทานนั่นแหละ
Because it's the habits of delusive attachment of the
ก็
upatan,
เลยสลาย
trying
นิ
to
สัยเลย
cling,
ลูกทิ้งนิสัยอุป
trying to
ทานเลย
involve. In this way, it will discard these
แล้วมัน
habits
จะไม่เป็นนิสัยไหนไปเลย
and it
ไม่
will
เป็น
not
นิสัย
become
อะไร
any
ไปเลย
types of
ไม่เป็น
habits
นิสัยไม่เป็น
totally.
นิสัย
It will not become habits.
ไม่เกี่ยวต้องไม่เกี่ยว
Uninvolved
ไม่
within the
เกี่ยวแม้กระทั่ง
uninvolved
ไม่เกี่ยว
itself.
ไม่
Uninvolved
เกี่ยว
within the
แม้กระทั่ง
uninvolved
ไม่
itself.
เกี่ยว
Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself.
ไม่เหลือ
Nothing is
คลายทิ้ง
left.
คลายคลายทิ้ง
Unwinding,
คลาย
discarding
บาน
itself.
ทิ้งบานบานทิ้ง
Blossoming,
บาน
discards itself.
ว่างไม่เอาว่างว่างไม่เอาว่าง
The emptiness doesn't grasp itself.
ไม่ใช่แค่มืดไม่ใช่แค่
This
ส
is
ว่าง
not just
สว่าง
about
ไม่เอา
darkness
ส
or
ว่างเอง
brightness. The brightness doesn't
ไม่ใช่
grasp
แค่
itself.
ว่างไม่ว่าง
This is not about
Wang may
being
awang
empty
eh.
or not. The emptiness doesn't grasp itself.
นี่นะระลึกล้างระลึกเองสติ
Just
ล้าง
purify
เรื่
the
อย
reminder itself.
ๆอุปทานมันก็เรื่อยๆเหมือน
Often
กัน
do that because there are always the delusive attachment that is there. Therefore, there must be frequent purification.
อย่าไปมุ่ง
Let's not
จำแนกแยก
aim
แยะอะไร
to distinguish
อย่าไปมัวหลง
or
แต่จำแนก
separate
แยกแยะอะไร
or discriminate
สรุปล้างสรุป
anything.
กันแบบตรงๆ
Make a
ตรงๆ
conclusion
ต
to
รงๆ
purify the conclusion itself directly.
อย่าไปมุ่ง
Directly.
จำแนก
Let's
แยก
not
แยะ
aim
อะไร
to
ให้มัน
distinguish
กลายเป็น
anything to turn
อุปทาน
into the upatan, delusive
นะ
attachment,
ตอกซอกซอยแห่งอุปทาน
into the lanes of the upatan.
จะได้ไม่มัวแต่เป็นแง่เป็นมุ
With
ม
these,
ของอุ
it
ปทา
will
น
not become angles of delusive attachment or the
ล้างแง่
upatan.
ล้างมุม
Let's purify all angles.
คุยกันนี่มันล้างคุย
This is purification in our conversation,
ไม่ใช่คุยแล้วเป็นเงื่อนทิ้งไว้เป็นปมทิ้งไว้
which doesn't leave any knots,
ไม่ว่าทางโลกหรือทางธรรม
whether it's in the worldly way or in Dharma.
คุยล้างคุยเอง
It has to be the conversation that purifies itself so that there is nothing left as a knot within worldly or
คุย
within
ล้างคุย
Dharma.
เอง
Purification within the conversation. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself, constantly, constantly, constantly.
แค่นั้นแหละมันก็คลายทิ้ง
That's
คลาย
all.
แล้ว
It will become like unwinding, discarding itself.
ช่วยไปเรื่อย
Let's help through liberation onwards, which is the liberation that discards itself.
พอแล้วไม่ต้องตกแล้วพอยังไม่อะไร
This is not just about nothingness. No, it's not even no itself.
ไม่ใช่แม้กระทั่งตัวมันเอง
It's not even
ไม่ใช่
itself.
แม้กระทั่งตัวไม่ใช่เอง
No, it's not even no itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Uninvolved
ไม่ใช่แค่
within the uninvolved itself. This is not just about uninvolved with something. Awaken out in the way of disregarding, in the way of dispersing. Otherwise, you're gonna get drowsy. Don't be obsessed with oneself. not be stuck with just stillness or indifference, child. Let there be the reminder that purifies itself. The disregard purifies itself, child. Disregard even from the disregard itself. The disregard doesn't signify anything, child.
รีบร้อนเดินห่างกันได้เดี๋ยวไปเหยียบเท้านะเดินห่างหน่อยได้รีบร้อนมากเดินเดี๋ยวไปเหยียบเท้ากัน
Disregard even from the disregard itself. Just remind yourself, the reminder that cuts through itself. Let's not be limited with just maintaining or disregarding. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. The disregard is not even itself. The disregard is not even itself. Let's not be limited with just disregarding. This is the fixation to the sluggishness, stillness, indifference. Disregard even from the disregard itself. The disregard purifies itself. The disregard that is not limited to itself is not even itself. This is the blossoming that discards itself. It doesn't grasp itself. The Anubhav will be the way of unwinding. Water blessing is just one part, but the Anubhav itself of the unwinding, that releasing from itself, it has the effects in all the surroundings without limits, without targets, which is called boundless. Pouring water as blessing is one part, but the essence has to be proceeded without directions, without targets, without boundaries. Disregard from the disregard itself well, not just pouring water. Disregard even from the disregard itself constantly. The reminder that purifies itself. The reminder that purifies itself. A tiny bit of maintaining within stillness or indifference is already limited. This is not called purifying through the emptiness. That is collective dropping, resting within the extinction. This is not the purification of the emptiness. True purification of emptiness has nothing in it. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself, disregard even from the disregard itself. This will have nothing to do with being still or not, indifferent or not, extinction or not, and also not having anything to do with being empty or not, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. Let's purify the titi, not to become titi. Regarding being empty or not, involvement or uninvolvement, this is still titi. This is about purification for titi, therefore it's boundless. Sometimes it's not a titi, but it's crystallized. Therefore, we must use the reminder to purify itself constantly, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. Let's continue with these sentences. But it is not a recitation. It is unwinding to help the crystallization. The maintaining in stillness and indifference. There is only the delusive attachment there. There are no terminologies of the essence. It's like there is no titi, but there is delusive attachment in it. That which has nothing to do with being still or not, uninvolved or not. It will have nothing to do with titi and crystallization within any state of mind or any state of Dharma attainment. Therefore, use the reminder that purifies itself more constantly. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. This is the reminder that purifies itself. The uninvolved purifies itself. The reminder that purifies itself. With this, it will be aligned with the true essence. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, is beyond being still or not, being indifferent or not. To be fixated to stillness, it will create rigidity. Keep on opening, penetrating through all the reserved manners. Don't let it become the entrapment like a cage for buffaloes. This is not about cage or den or buffaloes. Give no significance to the disregard itself. Well with it. Disregard, even from the disregard itself. Cut through the cutter itself. Cut through the cutting itself. Let's not be obsessed to cut something on and on. Cut through the cutter itself. Don't be deluded to cut something. Disregard, even from the disregard itself. Cut through the cutting itself. This is not about cutting something.
พี่ไม่ให้ลูกหลานนั่งสองตัวอันนี้ลูกนี่มอนมาข้างในนี่มา
Don't be fixated to the stillness or the lightness unwinding from itself. Discard the unwinding itself. Furthermore, disregard even from the disregard itself. Furthermore, the unwinding that doesn't grasp itself, the unwinding that discards itself. Let's not be obsessed to be carried away, to be pleased with the stillness, comfortable and indifference. This is the karmic difficulties that prolong for eons of times. To be pleased with any state of mind, even a tiny bit, one we have to pay back for eons of times. Disregard even from the disregard itself, child. Well with it. The disregard that purifies itself. Mind cuts through itself. Mind is not about anything within itself. This is the reminder that has the cutting within itself, self-purification. Don't use the reminder randomly. It has to be the Dharma that cuts through itself without grasping itself. The Dharma that gives unwinding to itself. This is not the reminder that is random. It is the reminder that cuts through itself, that has the unwinding within itself. Disregard from the disregard itself, uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. For example, let's not use any reminder randomly. The reminder that purifies itself. The disregard purifies itself. Mind, even from mind itself, disregard from the disregard itself, end within no time, child. This is called the mindfulness that cuts through itself. This is not about using mindfulness to cut something, having the mindfulness left. And all burdens to maintain mindfulness, to maintain awareness, while having burdens in maintaining disregard, even from the disregard itself. This is not about the disregard that maintaining itself, that grasps itself, the disregard that doesn't grasp itself. The mindfulness cut through itself, then it will not become a burden within the mindfulness, the awareness. This will have nothing to do with having or not having, because uninvolved is even uninvolved with itself. uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself, child. This will not become burdens with anything. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself, child. There will not be any burdens with any states. To be stuck with just involvement or uninvolvement is still a burden. Uninvolved within the uninvolved itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Well with the child. This is cutting through the cutting itself. Let go of the let go itself. Don't be obsessed to let go of something until it's exhausted. And use it towards all things, child. Share the great compassion. Helping through the unwinding. Helping through the ending. Helping through giving ending. Helping through cutting the knowing. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Don't fall into stillness. Don't be limited with just disregarding. Disregard even from the disregard itself. It doesn't grasp itself, child. Even the disregard doesn't mean anything. Unwinding from itself. The unwinding that doesn't grasp itself. That's why it's called not attached even to the non-attachment itself. Let's not be circling within fixation or non-fixation, not fixated to even the non-fixation itself, not attached to even the non-attachment itself. Your stillness is the problem. It creates problems. Your indifference and stillness is the thing that creates problems. What is there within being still or not? In the indifference or not. Disregard even from the disregard itself is not about anything within being still or not. It's not about anything within being indifferent or not, child. The reminder that cut through itself, continue onwards as such, so that there will be a purification of the karmic habits of the delusive attachment within any states of minds, within any attributes of the aggregate elements. All these prolonged delusive attachments, the attempt to cling, to fixate, is hidden in the state of that is sunken, is the attributes of delusive attachment within the samudaya, totally. Disregard even from the disregard itself. This has nothing to do with the realm of stillness or indifference. It has nothing to do with being realms. Involved within the uninvolved itself constantly, involved within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. The unwinding that doesn't grasp itself. This is called not attached to even the non-attachment itself. What is there to be maintained is anatta. What is there to be maintained is anicca. What is there to be maintained is dukkha. Why being obsessed to maintain something on and on? The anatta doesn't maintain itself. The anicca doesn't maintain itself. The dukkha doesn't maintain itself. The dukkha or suffering is always bygone from itself at all times, as well as the anicca. What is there that is maintaining is the delusive attachment that is assumed. Being obsessed to assume the delusive attachment on and on. What is there that is maintaining? Even itself doesn't maintain itself. The anatta doesn't maintain itself. The anicca doesn't maintain the anicca itself either. What is it that is acting on maintaining? This is the assumed delusive attachment or the upadana. There is no real delusive attachment or the upadana. There is only just the assumed upadana and just being deluded to it. That's why it's become boundaries within the assumed upadana, that which has no limitations in itself. Therefore, don't be deludedly stuck within the delusive attachment on and on. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Let's not be obsessed to have the habit of the upadana. Disregard even from the disregard itself, child. The disregard doesn't signify itself. The disregard is not about anything as it is. The non-attachment is not even itself. With this, we can help without flaw for samsara onwards. Use the sentence that help unwind. This is not about recitation. The reminder that release from itself. The reminder that unwind from itself. This is not in the way of recitation, creating karma into oneself on and on. The state of mind is not itself, child. Doesn't signify anything within itself. Let's not be obsessed with this single-mindedness. It doesn't signify anything. Let's not be deluded to it. Let's not be obsessed within the stillness and be sustained within any state on and on. Any state is anatta within itself. It doesn't signify anything in itself. Let's not be obsessed to be stuck within any state of single-mindedness on and on. Any state doesn't signify itself. Let's purify well, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Let's not be obsessed to involve or uninvolve on and on. Let's not be obsessed to uninvolve even within the uninvolved itself. Let's not be obsessed to reject anything. No, it's not even know itself. Let's not be obsessed to reject, to no to this, no to that, to disregard, to this or that. Disregard even from the disregard itself. With this, we can help end for samsara in the way without flaw, in the way that is graceful. Let's not be obsessed to reject anything. No is not even no itself. Continue to help cut through the knowing for samsara through this conclusion of self-cutting. Don't look at having or not having, ending or not ending, finishing or not finishing. Continue to help end for samsara. Disregard even from the disregard itself, all together, so that there will be continuation of the purification of the extinction. This is Nirodha of the compassion and great compassion. This is not about extinction within the extinction, because there is no compassion here. But samsara is full on. It's in the surrounding tremendously, but there is no compassion, no great compassion. Being obsessed with extinction within extinction, on and on. Disregard even from the disregard itself, child. This will have nothing to do with extinction or not. This will have nothing to do with the attempt to arise or to cease. Disregard even from the disregard itself, that which has nothing to do with the attempt to arise or to cease. Then it will be complete with compassion and great compassion in the purification of the extinction and the emptiness in the enlightenment as helping.